Hey guys, it's the Little Man, and there's a few things I wanted to change about my playoff bracket, so I'm going to do that in this video. So as you can see right here, I have the round robin results, how I think they will go. So I messed up a little bit, and I got another 2-1 in this video. So I got Toronto beating Columbus in 5, both very good teams, could see it going either way. And Pittsburgh beating Montreal in 4. I think Carey Price is going to steal a game, but I think Pittsburgh will take it pretty easily. So now I got New York Rangers over Carolina Hurricanes. I could see this going 4 or 5 games. I'm going to say 5 just because Hurricanes defense is so good. But I can't see New York Rangers losing that early. And now I have the New York Islanders over the Florida Panthers. This could be a really close series. It really could go either way, but I see the Islanders winning in 5 games. Florida, I just don't see this as their time. So now I have gone through and realigned it because of the seeding that the NHL is doing. So you can take a second and look at this if you want to. So right here I have the Winnipeg Jets beating the Calgary Flames, and this could be a close series, but at the same time I don't see this Calgary team as playoff performers. And Connor Hellebuyck has played insane. He's looking good coming back, but you never know what he could do once he comes back. Maybe he shits the bed and the Winnipeg Jets lose in 3 games, but I just don't see that happening. So now I have the Edmonton Oilers beating Chicago, and I would have Chicago making an upset here, but Corey Crawford is out, and I don't see him returning before the playoffs. So I see the Oilers taking this in 4 games. And now I have the Nashville Predators beating the Arizona Coyotes. I'll say this series is in 4 games. I don't see Arizona as that good of a team. Some people see them very good because they have Hall, Kessel, but those guys really underperformed this year, and I don't see them coming back to form in the playoffs. Especially because Taylor Hall, you don't know what he's going to be like in the playoffs because he's only played, 5 playoff games? So now I have the Vancouver Canucks beating the Minnesota Wild in 5 games. Honestly, I said 5, but I don't think it's going to be that close of a series. I just see Minnesota as a slow, not very high-powered team. Sure, their defense is very good, and that's what's going to keep them in this series, but they don't have enough offense to beat the Vancouver Canucks. So now on to the first round, the best of 7 series. I have Colorado over Winnipeg in 6. Colorado, very high power, star power offensive team. They have a very solid defense, and Grubauer is a good goalie when he is on, and he doesn't seem to be cold too much, so he's a very good goalie, and they have a very good team, and I feel like they can go far. Now I have the Oilers over the Stars. The Stars are either going to get eliminated early on, or they're going to make it far, but I see them getting eliminated early on. I don't think they can defend against this Oilers team with Draisaitl, McDavid, Athanasiou, Nugent Hopkins, Ennis. All those players will just power through this Stars team. So now I got Vegas over Nashville. Vegas, I could see them going very far, and they are such a good team. I see them winning over Nashville in 5 games. Nashville, they're weaker than they used to be, but honestly, they're not too bad. I could see them getting back, maybe getting further next year, but I don't think this year is their year. So now I have a big upset here. Vancouver Canucks beat the St. Louis Blues in 7 games. Honestly, Vancouver, very underrated team. They basically got a little bit worse of a Brock Besser in Tyler Toffoli, and so that just improves their offense so much. Their defense is very underrated, and Markstrom is such a good goalie. So now, another pretty big upset. I have the New York Rangers over the Washington Capitals. New York Rangers are also a very underrated team. If you look at their offense, it doesn't look too good, but their star power on offense is so good. They have players like Kreider, Buchnevich. Those guys are like middle six guys, but then they got Panarin, Zibanejad, and other players like that can carry them through a series. So now on to the next series. I have Philadelphia beating the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. Philadelphia is a very underrated team. They are so good. They have so many two-way forwards that can play solid defense, and I see that as the big advantage for them. And their goalie situation, they have Carter Hart. The Pittsburgh Penguins, it's up in the air who's going to start. So here we got another 2-1. I have Tampa beating the Leafs in 6 games. Tampa, I don't see them choking again. They are a very stacked team, offensively, defensively, one of the best goalies in the league. And then we have Boston beating New York Islanders. Honestly, New York Islanders, they just don't have enough power. Like, they got good depth, they just don't have enough star power. And I see that series ending in 6. Okay, so next series I have Colorado Avalanche beating the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. Honestly, this will be the most offensive series, I think, in this whole playoffs. But I just don't see the Oilers being able to handle the offense of the Avalanche. If you look at their goaltending and look at their defense, I just don't think they would be able to handle that. So in the next series, I have Vegas taking down Vancouver in 5 games. Honestly, I don't think Vancouver can get all the way to the conference final. I really could see them getting to the conference semifinal, but I just don't see them as a complete enough, experienced enough team to make it that far. And Vegas is also a very good team with 2 starting goalies who, whichever goalie they take and they use, could get them this far and further possibly. Okay, so in the East I have Philadelphia beating the Rangers in 6 games. The Rangers are a very young up-and-coming team, and honestly, next year I could see them getting here and possibly even further, but I just don't see it this year. And I have the Boston Bruins beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. I just don't see this Tampa team winning the cup. I don't know what it is, whether they're just not playoff performers or what, but I just don't see them getting far enough to win a cup, and that makes the conference finals. So here we have our first finalist. We have the Colorado Avalanche, and honestly, I could see this series going 7, and I do see it going 7, and I see the Colorado Avalanche taking it. They are such a they are incredible. Their first line, easily first line in the league. I'd take it over the Bruins first line, and I see them as an underrated team, even though I have them at number 1, and they came out of the regular season at number 2 in the Western Conference. So our second finalist, I have the Philadelphia Flyers, and honestly, this Boston versus Philadelphia series, I could have seen it going either way. I really did not know which team to pick, so if you're a Boston fan, don't get too offended. I don't know too much about the Bruins or the Flyers, but I just went with the Flyers. So now that makes the finals Colorado versus Philadelphia. So don't judge me too bad on this picture right here, but I have the Philadelphia Flyers winning the Stanley Cup, and yeah, you can go check out my last one. I'll probably have it at the end screen, and it's a little bit different, well, a lot different really, and yeah, so if you want to go check that out, you can. This is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. Comment down below who you think is going to win the cup, and I'll see you in the next one.